Hello. So in this previous post I talked about the sun and the sun glare. In this one I'd like to talk about the crescent moon, which I achieved using a custom shader. So starting at the beginning, the moon used to be it's a sphere. The moon is just a sphere, and it was previously being lit up um, on to, on by the sun, and the lit edge shined bright white, and the unlit edge remained grey. But you could always see the entirety of the sphere at any moment, and I wasn't happy with this because if you look at the if you look at the moon during the daytime, um, you'll notice that the unlit part of the moon doesn't show up at all. It's as if it's transparent. Presumably the blue light in the atmosphere um, is much stronger in intensity than the lack of light that's bouncing off the grey that's coming from the moon. A bit like the reason that you don't see the black sky, because the blue is the scattered light in the atmosphere is more intense. So the question was, how do I make the grey part of the moon, the unlit part of the moon, not show up? How do I make it transparent? So first let's find the moon. Where is it? If I speed up this thing, because now that it is transparent, it's harder to find. So probably begin to see it as the sun sets. Here we go. It's in the sky. You can see it's up here at the top. Let's just play that through. There it goes. So you can see it's a crescent, and it's transparent where it used to be black or dark grey or mid grey, depending on the lighting conditions. So it orbits on its own orbit, so it will come out at night at various points. So it's up now. Let me just turn the speed of the rotation of the cosmos down a bit. So we should be able to find it if I scan around. There it is. So it's now quite close, and you can see it's lit up very brightly, and we've got a pure crescent that's visible, and the rest is, well, it's hard to see here because it's black on black, but it is transparent. Let's put the speed back up, so we'll be able to see as it approaches day how that changes. So as the moon and the sun are moving, the crescent shape is adjusting in terms of what proportion of the moon is being lit, and it's coming around to being more fully lit. Let's turn this up a bit. There we go. So you can see it's transparent. This is exactly the effect I wanted. This is what I saw on the day when I was heading to the shops and looked up and noticed that the unlit side of the moon is just simply not visible in the sky at all. So now these clouds are a bit clumsy looking. No doubt I'll have to deal with that in the future, but the point is, regarding the moon, it's now behaving in the way I wanted. So I'll show you the shader graph that I made to achieve that. It's really simple and very satisfying as a result. So there we are. That's the crescent moon properly lit, and so I'm now content that that is good enough to that's what I wanted to achieve. as you see it coming out of the cloud, you can see it fully transparent. The atmosphere, the light in the atmosphere is taking it over. So that's perfect as I see it. Right, so the shader graph is in shader graphs. So it's very simple. You can see in the preview here the result. So we get the normal vector, i.e. So this shader graph is run per pixel on the object being rendered that it's being applied to, or in other words, the moon, which is a sphere. And for every pixel or every point on that sphere, we're getting for the pixel of interest that we're interested in, that we want to render, we get the normal vector. So this is a normal vector on the sphere, pointing out from the sphere. And we do the dot product of that vector and the main light direction, that's the sun. And we take the output of that and basically we feed that into the alpha. Now, the dot product going into the alpha would actually give the reverse effect. It would give us transparency for the white regions rather than the dark regions. So that's why I've put in 1 minus, is just to flip it around, because we want the dark regions to be made to increase the alpha for dark pixels. And then I have a multiplier in here because the pure value coming through might not be enough. I might want to emphasize it just to get the effect to be just right in terms of the shade of grey on the moon where that cut off or that threshold is. So that's that value there. So really simple and seems to be working really well. So then that has been applied to my moon texture. The moon material, let me think, where is it? Moon shader. What's using that? The moon is using it, and yeah, so the moon material is using it, and that's the threshold there that I was playing around with, and I found the number 5 worked as a great as a good multiplier to get the cutoff to look just right on the moon. So that's it. I'll quit the video there.